Welcome back, everyone. Jennifer and Bart Mills with us today. We're going to do something a little different in the spirit of the holidays. I love this idea you guys came up with because we thought, let's do a holiday movie review. And you said, let's do the top 3 couples from holiday movies. How did you narrow it down? I mean, there's a whole list of them, but you came up with 3, right?
Go for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, we did what we always do. I said things, and then she corrected me,
Right.
and then we did what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
But you know, really was trying to find that sort of blend of classic movies plus some of the more contemporary classics that we like. Plus, there's always one for us as well.
Yeah.
So it's but it is hard to figure out. When you talk about couples, you know, you have this, Hallmark has explained to us how we're supposed to embrace couples.
Right?
And so we know that there's supposed to be a meet cute, there's going to be, you know, some conflict in there, and then of course it's a Christmas movie, so we assume it ends up happily ever after.
Yeah.
So those were kind of our standard bearers.
That's a very good, it could be, because each one that you picked, It's a Wonderful Life is in there, we did Elf and 4 Christmases, and each one of those, as you said, starts out great couples, and then there's a conflict in the middle. You want to tag team which one? You want to start with Elf? How do you guys want to do it?
Yeah, why don't you start with Elf?
All right, yeah, we'll start with Elf.
Zoe Deschanel and Will Ferrell, right?
Yeah, technically 3rd on our list because they're the farthest from reality, I suppose. But you know, 2003, you got Will Ferrell, Zoe Deschanel. You know, they win because they're just the most adorable couple ever on TV.
Can't hate
I mean,
them.
Zoe's just, you know,
cute as bug.
It's a bit infantilizing, but she's awfully cute.
Right.
And then, you know, you got Will Ferrell just being Will, and you've got this, you know, unbearable couple. There's no way that they're ever going to belong together because she's a cynic and he's, of course, the very voice of Christmas. And, of course, spoilers, in the end, they seem to work out pretty well.
Right, they work out pretty well. Now, 4 Christmases, I must admit, when you guys came up with this, I had not seen that. I watched it, loved it.
Wow, Jeff.
I know, right?
You've never seen 4 Christmases.
Their interaction to me is, they're just ping-ponging back and forth initially anyway, right?
Right. Well, you know, the premise of the movie is that you've got this couple who have lied to everybody in their lives about how they're spending Christmas. They're actually going to take a trip to Fiji, and then they get busted at the airport by their families, and then they have to go and visit both of their divorced parents, and then chaos ensues.
Each one of them has a nutty side in her own way, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. And so then we get back to It's a Wonderful Life. I assume that's Donna Reed and Jimmy Stewart's our number 1. Gotta be, right?
They're number 1, hands down. I mean, first off, they're the ones everybody sees every year. But, you know, and Donna Reed did so much for young men for, what, 3 generations, 4 generations?
Correct,
She was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And, of course, Frank Capra just shot everything just wonderfully. But you've got, you know, again, the perfect combination here because you've got a couple that we see them when they're young and they first meet, and Jimmy Stewart's kind of awkward. Donna Reed is way too beautiful for him, obviously. And then, you know, they go through, you know, a series of fairly serious conflict there.
Right.
$8,000. I just was cracking up because I was looking at the fact that it was actually $8,000 that they lost.
Right.
That was going to put George Bailey in jail.
Collapse the entire bank.
You know,
yeah.
But though, you know, then again, you know, they end up perfect and happily ever after with, you know, the bells ringing and everything good. But they are just I think they're the sort of the staple of what we consider to be the perfect Hollywood couple in a Christmas movie.
Yeah, because obviously in It's a Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart's character has a bit of a meltdown because everything he's ever wanted in life is not happening, and he's kind of feels he's stuck in a rut. And I think to myself, if I'm Donna Reed, maybe back then you didn't do that. I'm like, kick this guy to the curb. But as Bart said, that was one of her characteristics. She stuck with him and tried to see him through, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's tough to do, but maybe, was that a sign of the times? Because I think now if that movie is made, she'd be like going through divorce court or something.
Well, but you see, you know, you see what a great spouse she was. I mean, you know, they give away their honeymoon money to save the bank the first round, you know, when there's a collapse, you know, so, I mean, she's all in on all his stuff, and but he was one of these guys that thought he had these big dreams, and he wasn't going to be successful unless he did everything else, and that's the lesson we all learn from that, so.
Yeah. That ended. I'm glad you guys picked. That was my number 1 too. I was hoping you would come to Donna
I think
Reed
that there was a national poll. That would be if we hadn't picked that, there would be a boycott.
Yeah, all 3 are good movies, by the way, if you want to do a triple feature one day. Well, thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
thanks
Jeff.
for having us.
Love it. Don't go away. We'll be back right after this.